Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Mr. Robot. Last time on Mr. Robot, we had EPS 1.8 underscore mirroring dot QT, where, alright, let's see. Mr. Robot, the Mr. Robot that we have come to know, kind of, doesn't exist. He is a figment of Elliot's imagination. Elliot is actually Mr. Robot. And yeah, he's just been seeing his father in his head. Let's see. I feel like there was something with Angela, but God, I don't remember. I mean, well, she was going around with Darlene trying to find Elliot. But I feel like there was something else specific. Oh, well, she did get offered a job, didn't she? Was that last episode? Yeah, she was offered a job at Evil Corp. And it was like, oh, well, that's the place I'm suing. Why would I go? Why would I do that? And then Terry Colby was like, I don't know, just do it. You can reform it from the inside if you want. Yeah. Tyrell, meanwhile, he had a kid, and there was some sort of a backstory, like, there was some story that Joanna told, but I didn't quite understand it. I still don't, and that's mainly because I haven't read any comments yet. If you guys have posted comments on the video, I'm recording this before that episode even went up to Patreon, so still a little out of the loop, but don't worry, I will get there eventually. And then Tyrell went to Elliot and was like, alright, you have a plan. What are you doing? And Elliot told him the plan, showed him the arcade, and now I guess Tyrell is part of F Society. We'll see how well that goes down. Elliot also said that he's the only person there at F Society, which kind of makes me think, like, oh, wait, what if they were all fake? But no, because Darlene can't be fake. But it does make me question about the others, though. Yeah. This is the season finale, which I'm sure is going to be balls out crazy as much as the others have been. I know that there's an after credit scene, so we will stick around for that. But we might as well get into this episode of Mr. Robot. Here we go.
See, she was microchipped, and I gave her chip number to all the vets in the city.
Okay.
Sick fucker not only hacked me and ruined my life, he stole my dog on top of it.
The dog you abused?
This guy's certifiable. If you know something, if he said anything, you have to tell me.
She don't have to do shit.
He never told me anything. I can't help you.
Alright. Well, that's good. Oh, it's already happened?
How long have you been asleep?
Yeah.
Seriously, what do you remember?
Did you sleep through it?
I don't even trust you.
Shitty.
It took you so long. I just had to shower and change. You're still new here. I wouldn't push it.
Yep, shitty. Okay, so they were all real at least.
What did I do?
We need to clean up and get the hell out of here.
Were you there? Did you see it?
No.
What did I do?
The revolution happened off screen.
So this is what a revolution looks like. People in expensive clothing running around. Not how I pictured it.
Yeah.
I wonder what stage they're at.
Obama.
Denial that all of their data is actually gone. For good.
What the hell are we doing for 3 more seasons, by the way? The revolution has already happened. And it happened off screen.
Evil Corp, we have delivered on our promise as expected. elected. The people of the world who have been enslaved by you.
Who's under that mask?
Your financial data has been destroyed.
Is that Elliot?
Any attempts to...
You know, I've run all the scenarios of our little revolution here, but using a dead puppy oven was not on my list.
Yeah. This is weird. Was she busting out all the dogs? They're gonna bust out all the dogs. It's a revolution for everyone!
Looking for Tyrell Elliot. Is he here?
No. He's not.
Man just disappeared.
What were you working on with my husband?
You've got to help me get out of this. There's something about her. I feel like she can hear us.
You wanted my advice?
She's really
Know
clever.
about the hack?
She's lying to me. He isn't coming.
Yeah.
She's fishing for something.
Not sure. Last week, I think.
Really?
She is also a James Bond villain.
Was he acting strange when you saw him?
When is he not?
Because he was acting very strange. Last I saw him. 3 days ago.
3 days ago.
Didn't she say he just called?
Yeah.
And then he just vanished. Anyway, I shouldn't take up any more of your time. Thank you. Ollie.
No problem. Damn, she's scary.
You want me to be honest?
Of course.
You're right. Absolutely right.
This isn't in the cards.
The public should be worried.
This is not on script. Oh god.
Calm down, everyone.
Okay, this is when they cut. Okay. Well then. There was a part of me that was curious, like he's just gonna jump out the window or something, but okay. Gun. That's something.
Yeah, I'm holding a press conference this afternoon. Since you're new to the PR department, I think you should attend. You might pick up some invaluable lessons.
Get back to work.
No. No, I'm not sure that I can.
Nah. Yeah. He was alone. How does he have that video, though?
I have a confession to make.
All right,
Oh.
you got me.
Hello.
Have some moral fiber and leave their asses. Their practices are well documented and it's all despicable. Listen, this isn't my business, but don't drink their Kool-Aid.
Nah.
Look, I just needed a job.
What kind of an excuse is that?
You don't understand.
You should hear yourself.
I don't know who you think you're talking to. But
Oh,
I'll try the Pradas next.
damn. I mean, this shoe guy was getting personal.
Where is he? You know how this looks, right? Very weird.
Yeah, you're not just... He's slamming... God, this is weird. He's slamming himself.
I don't give a shit.
I recommend you get one of those Bluetooth headsets. That way people just think you're the local douche.
Tyrell disappeared.
This is so weird. Now he knows.
But you know.
Two different parts of his brain
So
now.
are you.
Yeah, hello.
Forget kiddo. I am you.
Ugh.
Hey, man. I gotta tell you, I had sex with your mom this morning, and it was fantastic.
Is he about to get punched?
Don't have time for you, little man.
That was a real nice smell.
Oh!
Everyone else is worried, but you?
He
You're
hides
sure
it.
that you're gonna get through this?
Aliens didn't invade our planet. Zeus didn't come out of the heavens to destroy us, and zombies haven't risen from the dead. No. Whoever's behind this, they're just people. Except, of course, I have the full weight of the biggest conglomerate in the world behind me. You'll come to realize that when you have that, matters like this, they tend to crack under that weight. Between you and me, I was glad he killed himself. He's not a very good person. His instincts left a lot to be desired. No, the world was a little better off, knowing he wasn't in it anymore. I believe even his family will benefit from this in the long run.
Okay then. Well, that's great to hear, man. What the fuck?
Let's have a moment of silence for our dear, brave friend, James Clough.
This is fucking weird Eyes Wide Shut meets the Hunger Games shit.
Please, you have to do something.
Me?
You have to help me. Say something, make him tell me.
Stop talking to them!
Oh!
They can't help us.
Yeah.
We have to do this together, just us.
He's right, you know. You're hurting the whole family, Elliot.
Oh, God.
Not real.
What? You are? A world built on fantasy. Synthetic emotions in the form of pills. Psychological warfare in the form of advertising. Mind-altering chemicals in the form of food. Brainwashing seminars in the form of media. Controlled, isolated bubbles in the form of social networks. Real? You want to talk about reality?
No.
We haven't lived in anything remotely close to it since the turn of the century. We live in a kingdom of bullshit. A kingdom you've lived in for far too long.
Yeah.
Don't tell me about not being real. I'm no less real than the fucking beef patty in your Big Mac.
Damn.
As far as you're concerned, Elliot?
I want to be alone.
No.
I need to be alone.
No, you don't want that, remember? Remember how you felt when you were alone?
Huh.
You were in pain. You were miserable. That's why we're here.
That's not...
Those lonely nights when you sat and cried in your apartment. You begged us to help you. You asked us to come. You needed us to come. No!
That's not the full family. I guess she's pregnant with Darlene there.
I'll tell you exactly what you're gonna do. You're gonna start listening to us. The world is a better place because of what we did, Elliot, and you're gonna realize that one way or another. Now here's what I need you to do now. You're gonna sit at your computer, watch and enjoy the beautiful carnage that we've all created together.
Oh God, who's at the door? Alright, there's an after credits scene. We'll wait a sec.
You seem a little preoccupied yourself.
I don't believe in preoccupation. It's more of an observation.
Which is?
The infamous Emperor Nero played an instrument very similar to the one she's playing, the lyre.
Yeah.
Legend has it that he played it merrily as he watched.
As he watched?
As he watched Rome burn.
Yeah. It's fucking BD Wong. Okay. Well then. Okay, I didn't realize that it was BD Wong as White Rose in the last episode. So, luckily, I have seen that now thanks to the magic of a cast list. Because otherwise, I wouldn't know what the hell that meant. Okay, that's the first season of Mr. Robot. Well, this was odd, to say the least. Strange, because this is almost an aftermath episode, but to something that didn't happen on screen. It was an aftermath, which, I mean, part of it does, is sort of, again, sort of aftermath of, discovering that Mr. Robot, is just part of Elliot, that he is Mr. Robot and stuff, so. Okay, so, yeah, in all those scenes where it was, with Mr. Robot, it was Elliot, but it was different parts of him. Like we saw here, he slams Mr. Robot against the wall. Well, he's actually slamming himself against the wall. Or, when Mr. Robot goes over and gets punched by the guy, that was Elliot getting punched by the guy. And so that means it was Elliot that went to Romero. And I'm thinking of like the scene where, they initially say that the Dark Army is out. Mr. Robot gets pissed, and then it's Elliot that goes over to Darlene to talk to her. But that means it's Elliot that gets pissed, and then he still goes over and talks to her. So, that's interesting. So at least we have that. Again, it is strange that even some scenes where it's almost like, how could it be, one person, but it does. I mean, that's how it is. That's how it is. So it's not a perfect, like, seamless, like, oh yeah, you can totally see how it's only been one person, but I get it and I will accept it. Okay. This is insane. I'm not entirely sure what the next 3 seasons are going to be, but they're going to be nuts. I can go ahead and say that, because I mean, they've definitely set up something more with White Rose. Tyrell is still, AWOL, and there's also Price to deal with at E-Corp. He's still, like, confident they can get out of it and stuff. So, man, oh man. So, there is still more to do, but it is crazy. Like, I don't know why I didn't think, like, oh, the Revolution would be Season 1. Like, I don't know why I thought that it wouldn't be in Season 1, I guess just because of how big it is, I guess maybe I just didn't think that, but it happened. It happened off screen. Elliot doesn't remember what happened. And most likely, I mean, who knows? He could have just been knocked out, you know? He could have just been knocked out for, you know, just immediately knocked out, and then Tyrell did it. Which brings up the question, again, where's Tyrell? So, that's a lot. There's a lot to, I guess, a lot to unpack in this one. And a lot that cannot be unpacked until we get more stuff next season. So, yeah. Excuse me. Yeesh. Oh. Okay, let's talk notes. Krista. We had that thing with Krista. Krista not giving up any information on Elliot, which was interesting. Makes you wonder if, you know, how much did he confess to her? Maybe, like, I mean, I guess he probably didn't confess anything about F Society, because at that point he wasn't aware, you know, he was still going off of the two personalities thing. So, probably not that. But she didn't give him up. I guess just because, you know, I don't want to say, like, out of the goodness of her heart, but I mean, you know, she probably saw, like, oh, yeah, what Elliot does is actually good, you know? It's like, yeah, he took down this, you know, jackass, basically. So there's that. The revolution happened off screen. And I mean, I don't know if... Oh, I'm so tired today. Sorry about that. Sorry about all this yawning I'm doing. But I don't know if... We don't know if Elliot simply doesn't remember. Although he said that, you know, to Mr. Robot, I was like, oh, you know where Tyrell is. And he said, yes, and you do too, you know? Because he is part of him. So, he does know. So, it's more likely... Because I was starting to think, like, okay, well, maybe Tyrell just immediately knocked him out and then did all the revolution himself. But I think it was... I think he just can't remember. He can't access those memories of the revolution happening, you know? So, yeah, and then now Tyrell is just gone. Tyrell is just completely gone, which is crazy. Oh. So yeah, but the big revolution, not really any pomp and circumstance, honestly. It just sort of happens. And then it's like, all right, and here's the aftermath. Here's, well, aftermath or consequences. You know, it's like, and here we go next. Ugh, excuse me. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. I did write down, you know, who's the man under the mask, because, you know, we thought it was Mr. Robot. Well, technically it is Mr. Robot, but that means it's Elliot in those videos, which is crazy. Sorry, I got a text message that I actually do need to answer, so give me a second. I'm back. Where was I? So yeah, who's under the... I mean, well, we know who's under the mask. For a second, though, I was almost thinking, like, wait, is Tyrell under the mask? That'd be crazy. But that would only make sense for this video, because he just got brought into this. But I mean, it's pretty much this whole time now, it's been Elliot under the mask, which is crazy. Let's see. We had the oven. I thought that was kind of strange, It's like, oh, this puppy oven. But they had to, get rid of all the stuff. Get rid of any evidence, which is also why they threw the party, so that there would be, 20,000 fingerprints there, which wouldn't implicate any of them, basically. So, that was interesting. I also like, they freed the dogs, I thought that was kind of funny. Because, I mean, it's like, they are kind of like the cyber Robin Hoods, maybe not as merry as Robin Hood and his merry men, but at least Elliot's not really that merry. But I did kind of like that. They just decided to free all the dogs. That was funny. Let's see. There was the guy on TV. What was his name? Let me look for it. James Pluff. What a name, James Pluff. That was crazy. For a second, it's like, okay, with that, like, with the shot they had of, like, I think I got another text. I didn't see it, though. Oh, well. With the other, with that shot, it's like, okay, they're shooting this specifically, like, he's in front of a window. And I was like, I don't know, he gets up and runs out, like, busts through the window and dies. But no, he had... That's why he wanted that bag specifically, was for the gun, in case he just decided, and then he did. He was just like, now everything sucks. Bye. We have to... Can I give some credit to whoever did the practical effect of that? Because, you see a lot of times on shows, it's just the shot, shoots through the back of the head and that's it. I actually like the very gory detail, but I like the detail that after he shoots himself, blood starts coming out of his nose and out of his mouth. Like, that had to have been hard to, like, rig up, especially out of the nose. I'm very curious how they did that. But that was just so gory and just so interesting, like an interesting practical effect. So yeah. That I just wanted to make special note of that, because that was such an interesting, like, normally it's just shot, fall, done, but I like that it was shot and then you see blood, rushing out. Like, that was, I don't know why, I thought that was a pretty neat practical effect, so I had to give credit on that. Let's see, and then we had, I wrote down two sides, basically, like, Elliot's brain is split up between himself and Mr. Robot, which is an interesting concept. I'm glad we have that. I was slightly worried that it was like, oh, well, are we just not going to get him anymore? But no, this is still part of his brain that's kind of locked off from him, Basically, he has he has him and he has his Mr. Robot persona, and that has now become its own part of his brain with certain things that are locked out from him, Because he can't embrace fully that he is Mr. Robot. So I like that, and it means we get to have Christian Slater back because he's just fun. So I like that. But yeah, that was just interesting, and especially I like that they pretty much, the first time we get him back, they show, like, okay, Elliot slams him against the wall, and he's like, this looks very weird right now, and then it cuts to what what everyone else sees, where he's just slammed himself against the wall, So I like that. That's a good way of doing that. So that was pretty interesting. Just, real good there. And then we had the whole talk about, what's real and stuff like that. And that was interesting, just the whole thing of, since the turn of the century, nothing's been real, brainwashed, all that stuff, But that was a good speech there. And yeah, so that was interesting. I also like, when Elliot, he turns to us, which he's done all season. It's like, oh, you have to say something, help me, And I like, because he's part of Elliot's mind, he says, they can't help you. Look, you can't help him. We're like, God, he's talking to me. Oh, God. It's like, oh, that's terrifying. Because we're part of Elliot's mind, too. we're the other part. We're like a tiny part, but we're part of his brain too, you know? Ugh, it's ridiculous, but I love that. It's like, oh, help. You have to say something to him. They can't help you now. It's like, oh no. He's talking about us. Anyway, but yeah, that whole speech was really interesting. Oh my gosh. I keep looking up to like check the time, and on this it now just says like 6 minutes because I restarted the recording to answer that text message. But I need to look over here at my computer where it says we're about to 1 hour 20 on the recording. So I hope I'm talking about this enough. I feel like I am kind of jumping over a few things, but I mean we're kind of covering everything. But yeah, just that whole speech was good. And then, you know, when he says like, well, first off, when the rest of them show up, you know, young Elliot and then his mother, it's like, oh, geez. And it's like, we're all a part of you. And it's like, well, wait a minute, where's Darlene? If Darlene is his sister, where is she? She should be a part of this then. But I did notice it looked like his mother was pregnant. Like, you know, it looked like she was pregnant. So maybe that's it. Is like, oh, she in this version of her is pregnant with Darlene at the moment. So, but yeah, because it's like, okay, you know, oh, what's real and stuff like that, and oh, we're just as real as anything else, and we're a part of you, and it's like, but you know who could be an anchor basically to help Elliot to actual reality would be Darlene, his living sister, you know, but she wasn't there. Maybe we'll have to get some of that next season, hopefully. Elliot trying to re-anchor himself to a reality, and Darlene would have to be a part of that, you know? So, yeah, and it's like, oh, what you're going to do is you're going to start listening to us. And that's a little scary thing right there. It's like, you're going to listen to them? It's like, I don't know if you should listen to them, you know? But he did, and he's going back to his place to see the carnage he has wrought. If we could jump back just a little bit, I also wrote down Angela. Interesting, definitely interesting first day on the job. Jeez Louise. Well, I mean, early days at least on the job. But yeah, watching one of her bosses just kill themselves on national television, that was pretty crazy. And then, yeah, it's interesting, like, watching her sort of navigate this, because you can see, you know, especially with stuff that she says, like, she's almost trying to, you know, keep herself from it, but at the same time, she's also kind of being sucked into it, honestly. Like, you know, when she's talking to the shoe guy who gets a little too personal, honestly, he's like, oh, how could you go back there and stuff like that. It's like, all right, man, I just came in here for shoes, man. It's like, I just need shoes, and it's like, but yeah, it is honestly a good point. It's like, how can you do this? You know, which she was already questioning before she took the job, but it's like, how can you do this? That man was driven to suicide, basically, after all this, and you're just moving on like nothing happened, you know? And I think that is taking an effect on her. I feel like she's trying to bury it, but it's just, there's just a little too much of it. She can't just fully bury it, you know? Which she talked to Price about as well. Every time I look up and I see, you know, is the character name Philip Price, I don't know why I think of Jonathan Price, and then I think, oh man, what if Jonathan Price was in this show? That'd be amazing. Like, Jonathan Price could totally play Philip Price. I don't care if he's British. I don't care that he's British. I want Jonathan Price in here in a suit, you know? Anyway. Enough wishing that Jonathan Price was in this show, but Jonathan Price should be in every show, because he's Jonathan Price. He's great. So, anyway, but yeah, when she was talking to Mr. Price, like, that was interesting. It's like, oh, you seem so confident and stuff, and it's like, and that is kind of crazy. It's like, you know, when he says like, oh, you know, I carry the weight of this, you know, disaster on my shoulders as CEO, which is interesting. You know, all of this revolution stuff, we don't get anything from Scott Knowles, you know, which does beg the question. Maybe I'm not fully up to date on what CTO means, because when they said it, it's like, oh, you'll be CTO, you'll run the company, basically. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, oh, I thought that would be CEO, but Philip Price is CEO, but Scott Knowles is CTO, And I don't remember what the difference is, but we got none of him in this, you know? But it seems like Philip Price is the head in charge completely of Evil Corp. So yeah, it's like, you know, when he says like, oh, well, I carry the weight of this whole thing on my shoulders. But I can do that. And I've seen what that weight can do. That can make these things crack. You know, like, he's basically saying, I'm confident because this can't last. You know, we will power through this. We just have to wait for them to crack, which is interesting. I mean, it's honestly, you know, I guess sort of taking up the role of, I guess, villain, you know, but for this show. But that was definitely interesting, just hearing him say it's like why he's confident as the head of Evil Corp, which is sort of, you know, collapsing at this point. But he's confident where no one else has been, because he knows, he basically knows how to play his cards, you know? So that was interesting. And then just when he says like, oh, the world's better off without James Pluff. It's like, okay then, you are basically the exact person that F Society is trying to take down. You know, it's like you, right? That you are personified. You are that personified, basically. So it's like, okay, I see this guy as sort of being our new villain. Like, we haven't really had a overall villain on the show, and even now it's still debatable if we really do. But yeah, so I don't know. I think people might be home. Yeah, alright, give me a sec.
It's alright.
Okay, where was I? So yeah, it's like he definitely seems like a villain to take down. And when he went over to that podium, and it's like, you know, there's this huge group of people around the E logo, and it's like, okay, this is a little too, like, I don't know, on the nose. Like, I don't know, like, he looked like he was about to announce the next Hunger Games or something. Like, okay, this is kind of strange, you know? But yeah, I don't know. So he kind of seems like he'll be a new sort of antagonist, at least the face of Evil Corp, which has been kind of our antagonist of the show. I mean, it's been the goal and sort of the antagonist as well. And the last thing I wrote down was Rome, which also just kind of throws a wrench into that, doesn't it? Because White Rose, which I didn't even realize, because I remember last episode now, when they were going through, you know, the credits in the opening, I was like, BD Wong, that's great. He's always great in everything. But then I just forgot about that, and I did not recognize him as White Rose. So at the end, it was like, oh wait, I remember seeing BD Wong. He's like, oh, that's BD Wong. Oh, that's sweet. You know, like every time he's in something, like he just plays, you know, I always find him playing like this dastardly evil villain, but he's always so enjoyable, you know? So yeah, and then I pop open the cast list and it says BD Wong, White Rose, like, oh, that makes further implications, because yeah, I wouldn't have realized that if I hadn't looked at the cast list. I would have been like, oh, okay, who's this guy? But now, thank God for cast lists, I made the connection. White Rose is in this strange, I don't even know what this place was, but talking to Philip Price. So yeah, it definitely seems like White Rose is going to also be sort of a antagonist in the future. So I'll be curious as to how they are going to play more into the story. And it was interesting, you know, just that little anecdote of Rome. This is the second time I've watched a show and we've brought up Nero today. But it's like, yeah, when, you know, Emperor Nero, he played his lyre while Rome burned, and that's kind of, you know, that's kind of him, and that's kind of Elliot as well. You know, Elliot is sitting watching Rome burn, basically, and so is White Rose. So I'll be interested to see how those two forces must now collide, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. I will be very curious, though. Again, just an interesting episode, as you could almost qualify this as an aftermath episode, but only because the big event that we've been building up to happened off screen. And this is sort of an aftermath, but also, obviously a lot of important stuff happened here. So, great episode. Really, really enjoyed it. And it's definitely setting the stage for some interesting stuff going forward. So yeah, that's basically it. That's the first season down. Isn't that crazy? Has it been 10 episodes already? That's the craziest thing. And I know, we took a break, or did we take one break or two? No. I think we only took one break for Christmas. So it's only been about 11 weeks that we've been watching this show, but we're a fourth of the way through already. Man, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next season. Let's see what we're going to do. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Mr. Robot reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.